Direct evidence is eyewitness testimony. That's all that counts as direct evidence. Indirect evidence is everything else. Well, DNA at the crime scene, that's not direct evidence. That's indirect evidence. Witnesses who can tell you what they saw the suspect do, that is direct eyewitness testimony. That's all that counts. Now, sometimes we use a different word for this indirect evidence. We call this circumstantial evidence. So these are the two groups. And I'll bet you when you hear this term, circumstantial evidence, you're like, that's just junk. You know, you hear on TV all the time, all they have is a circumstantial case, right? Well, that's all I ever have. I work cold cases. They went cold for a reason. There's no eyewitnesses. So when I get a case to begin with, it's terrible. It's a mess. And it's built on circumstantial evidence. But we can still, as a matter of fact, judges tell juries all the time that they are not to consider circumstantial evidence as being any less valuable than direct evidence. They are to be given the exact same weight in your jury deliberations. So stop saying it's just a circumstantial case, because that means there's something less about no, it's a circumstantial case. But it's not just a circumstantial case. Does that make sense? As a matter of fact, let me show you the jury instruction. Here's what judges tell juries in jury trials before they start the deliberations. Both direct and circumstantial evidence are acceptable types of evidence to prove or disprove the elements of a charge, including intent and mental state and acts necessary to a conviction. And neither is necessarily more reliable than the other. Neither is entitled to any greater weight than the other. So I'm here to tell you guys, we build cases about the existence of God that could be described as circumstantial. No kidding. That's how we do cases, and probably 85% of cases in America are entirely circumstantial. That's how we build cases. Don't let anyone tell you that you've got to have a direct witness you can interview in order to believe something is true. Be ready to kiss down all of history then. You couldn't even know anything about your own great-grandparents if you had to have somebody alive who could say, I saw them do this. No, you're taking it on the strength of somebody else's testimony. You have to make these cases circumstantially. So just know that that's an entirely appropriate way to make a case. That's okay. Something else I learned about evidence. There's a big difference between what is possible and what is reasonable. Anything is possible. We don't even count possible. Possible doesn't matter to me in a jury trial. Hey, it's 9:15, a little bit later than 9:15. How do you even know you're here? You could be oversleeping right now. You could be in a dream state right now, dreaming about being here this morning. And if you think, well, I can test that, I can ask the person next to me, or I can pinch myself, that could just be part of your dream. That's possible. You have to at least admit it's possible you're just dreaming all this. But it's not reasonable. Anything is possible, but not everything is reasonable. And that's why, folks, our jury standard, the standard of proof in the most difficult criminal trials, is not beyond a possible doubt. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. Why? Because if it was beyond a possible doubt, you'd never convict anybody.